Have you ever thought of a Class A as being a pursuit vehicle?
Crime Stoppers.
Crime stopping pursuit vehicle? Probably not, but maybe by the end of this video, you will. So last night, Sabrina and I were driving in our Class A while towing our Jeep, as we always do. And if you've ever been on the highway, sometimes they'll put up a sign that says, "Look for a Rav4," with a black Rav4, and they give you a little bit of information. And as we passed that sign, I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if these signs ever work. And then
He was reading it out loud, and he was like, "Oh, we're looking for a such and such car with license plate such and such, such and such." I said, "You mean like the one that just passed us right there?"
yeah, because we passed another sign. So the RAV4 we passed, and then another sign that came up and said, "We're looking for a silver cobalt." Sabrina's afraid to tell you what it was, I think. She said,
Snitches get stitches.
so the second sign said, "Silver cobalt, wanted, silver cobalt, somebody could be in
It said
danger."
missing/endangered person, and that they were looking for this particular car.
And I read it out loud, and Sabrina's like, "Oh, like that silver cobalt over there?" And it had passed us. We're probably doing the speed limit, maybe a couple miles under the speed limit. And they went past us, but not incredibly fast. They were probably maybe only doing maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. And they kept on getting further and further from us. And I said to Sabrina, I said, "Did you happen to see the license plate?" And she said, "No."
I said, "No, I saw the first and the last of it, and it matched the one they were looking for, but I didn't see the whole plate."
So she looked up online and got the full license plate. And I said, "I think we're going to have to catch up to that silver cobalt, because that's probably the car that they're looking for." And Sabrina's like, "Well, why would you think that?" I was like, "When was the last time you saw a silver cobalt? They haven't made cobalts in like 14 years. I was like, "It's probably the car." So,
And I was like, Kenny, I don't want to speed just to catch somebody, and then we get in an accident trying to catch somebody for something that has nothing to do with us. My mom says, "Seeing blind, hearing deaf." Yeah, if you see something, you're blind, and if you hear something, you're deaf. So I was like, we're not doing that.
my thought was, if we can help, what if somebody's trapped in the back of that car? I said, we can only go so fast. We're in our Class A. They were driving incredibly conservatively, which made me even more suspicious. I said to Sabrina, I was like, if they're up to no good, then they would be driving the speed limit just like we're driving the speed limit. I was like, that's got to be them, just based off of how careful they are driving.
Then they started speeding.
Well, then so we started to speed up and chase them a little bit. Not chase them, just sped up. We're in a Class A. So we sped up to see what their plate was. And believe it or not, folks, the Class A motorhome is not very stealthy. And I believe they realized what we were doing. So, but we were able to get close enough. Sabrina was able to get a good view of their license plate, checked it online, and it was off by one letter and one number. And Sabrina's like, it's not it. It's off
It was a Z instead of a D.
And I was like, "You think that's not it?" I was like, "They just read the plate wrong. Whoever put the plate number in the computer is wrong." I was like, "That's got to be it." You're telling me, I joked with her. I was like, "What do you think? All silver Chevy Cobalts get the same numbers, but they just mix up the numbers and letters a little bit?" I was like, "That's got to be them. Call 911.
I was like, "I don't really want to call anybody, Kenny. I don't want to get involved." And he's like, "No, call."
I said, "You have to call. That could be somebody."
We've seen enough Criminal Minds.
We watch Criminal Minds all the time. I was like, we have to call and help whatever's going on. I said, we're not getting involved. We're just going to call it in and let them know. At this time, this car probably definitely realized what we were doing. The night, this was late at night. This was like at 9 o'clock at night. We were still on the road. Late for us, not anybody else. Late for us. So the roads were kind of quiet. The highway was kind of quiet. This car definitely, I think, figured out what we were doing and actually slowed down and got behind us. So Sabrina's on the phone with 911, and she's like, "Oh, we just passed mile marker 123. We're headed west." And I said to her, the car's now behind us. It's not in front of us anymore. She's like, and Sabrina is like, "How do you know this?" I was like, "Because I watched it get behind us." So we got off at an exit, and it got off the exit too. We made a right at the end of the exit, and it made a left. So then we called 911 again to let them know.
Kenny wanted to, because I was like, "That's their job. Like, it's their response. Like, I'm not getting involved anymore. I've done my due diligence. They're on this road. Like, I don't know what else to do." And Kenny's like, "No, we need to let them know they exited." I was like, "Kenny, I am not a police detective." And he's like, "Yeah, we can tell."
You didn't even want to call it in because the letter was wrong. One letter. So I called 911 and I said, hey, I have information on the Chevy Cobalt, silver. It got off of at this exit, and it made a left on this road. And I have to
They
say,
weren't very nice.
the people, the dispatch, made
you regret you called.
yeah, they make you regret that you called because they are really hype. I was expecting them. I've never called 911, but I was expecting them to be patient and wait for the information. They were like yelling at us for the information. I'm like, calm down.
They're like, you said left. What left? What direction is left? Is that east or west?
Yeah.
We're like, we don't know. We don't live here. We are telling you what road we were on, and they made a left.
Yeah. We said, we're just traveling on our RV. We're not.
You must know. You must know where you're at and what road you're on and what road they turned on.
I said, I really don't know. I said, I'm not from this area at all. We are literally passing through. She's like, and they were like, well, where are you now? We're like, Cracker Barrel?
It doesn't matter where we are now.
Like, you're looking for us? Look for the Chevy Cobalt.
I don't know. It wasn't the most joyous experience, and I think unless someone's dying, I'm not calling them ever again.
I will say we're outside of like a major major city, and maybe that's just their attitude, their hypeness.
I don't know. Then I told Kenny, I was like, now that car's coming for us because we got off at the same exit. I can't sleep here because now I'm going to be sleeping and they're coming to get me for calling them in. And
I said, nobody's coming to get you at Cracker Barrel. You'll be fine. So we did wind up sleeping at the Cracker Barrel where we stopped. It was time for us to stop anyway. We were driving a long day yesterday. We had been to several
rest areas that had no space.
So yeah, we tried to stop a couple times earlier, but all the rest areas that we stopped that didn't have space for us. So
I don't know if somebody was kidnapped or just missing or what was going on, but
yeah, we tried to look it up, and we did find a silver Chevy Cobalt issued, but it was from 2 days ago.
Yeah,
and that person was found. I was
know.
like, what is going on with Chevy Cobalts that in this area that people are using them for
escape getaway cars? I don't know.
They're using them for evil. Yeah, evil purposes. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. But that was probably one of our most exciting drive days ever. I normally say I'd like our drive days to be very mundane. And that was the opposite of that. That was fun for a little bit for us, just because I never felt like we were in danger, but Sabrina was.
I don't like getting involved in things that have nothing to do with me, and I just really don't. Sorry, Kenny.
I just know if I was in the in the
trunk, I would want someone to call though.
If I was trapped in the trunk of that car, I would want somebody to hopefully call 911 and say, I saw the car here. And it's funny, they must have gotten another call because when Sabrina called the first time, they said
they knew what interstate I was on. They're like, oh, are you on interstate such and such? Because I said, I think we just saw this. They're like, oh, are you in the direction, you're on interstate such and such going west? And I said, yeah. And she was like, okay, well, where are you at?
Yeah, so they were getting calls in about it. So those signs, just in case anybody's wondering, apparently do work.
Yeah.
I've always wondered if anybody ever calls in or catches anybody based off of those little signs.
I've never seen another car that matched that sign before.
So all you guys traveling around in your RVs and stuff like that, and you see these signs,
you can be snitches too.
You can be snitches. No, I'm just saying they work, and pay attention around you because it was like literally seconds after we passed that sign, that Cobalt went right past us at almost the same time. I'm sure that Chevy Cobalt saw the same sign, was like, crap.
That's probably why they sped up.
Yeah, but that's our story. I hope you guys enjoy that fun little live video. I will say that Sabrina and I are seriously thinking about putting effort back into this channel, and we're going to make a series of videos called Our Top 5, and it's going to be like our top 5. I can't even remember any of the topics. I meant to bring it up on the computer so I would remember, but our top 5 of things, not just in RVing, but just general stuff. Our top 5 things to do at Walt Disney World, our top 5 things of why we chose to start RV travel, the 5 things that,
why we picked Florida as our domicile when we were full-timing.
Yeah, we got all these. We came up with 12 different topics. But if you guys would like to see a top 5 things of our lives, let us know.
It doesn't have to be RV.
And it doesn't have to be RV. It could be about anything at all. And we plan to release them every Monday around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We got 2 months worth of ideas so far. So we're going to give this channel a go again. Best way to say it. All right, everybody. Take care. Safe travels. We will catch you next time. And maybe you too can be a Crime Stopper.
Or a scaredy cat.
Or Stitches.